Now streaming over to you, Mayor.
Welcome everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting of the Wellington Shire for the 19th of March 2024. Members of the public gallery should note that the Council records and publishes Council meetings via YouTube to enhance the accessibility of Council meetings to the broader Wellington community. These recordings are also archived and may be published on Council's website for viewing by the public or used for publicity or information purposes. At the appropriate times during the meeting, members of the gallery may address the Council, at which time their image, comments or submissions will be recorded. Members of the public who are not in attendance at the Council meeting but wish to communicate with Council via the online web form should lodge their questions or comments early in the meeting to ensure that their submissions can be dealt with at the end of the meeting. Please could gallery visitors, councillors and invited online attendees ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or in silent mode for the duration of the meeting. Wellington Shire Council acknowledges our offices are located on the traditional lands of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation. We pay our deep respects to their elders past, present and future and acknowledge their ongoing cultural and spiritual connections to their land and waters. We have no apologies tonight. Is there any declarations of conflict of interest? No? If I could have someone to move the adoption of minutes of previous Council meetings. Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council adopt the minutes and resolutions of the Ordinary Council meeting of the 5th of March 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Stevens. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Happy with that, Councillor Wood? Item 4, business arising from previous meetings, there are none. Item 5, acceptance of late or urgent items, there are none. Item 6, notice of motion, review of community and recreation facilities. Councillor Tatterson to move that.
Thank you, Mayor. After talking to the CEO, I'd like to move a minor amendment to the notice that's printed in the agenda, and I'd like to move that council officers provide a report at the 16th of April 2024 council meeting regarding the feasibility of appointing a professional recreation planning consultant to undertake a review of council's current processes for maintenance, planning, management and support for community and recreational facilities and provide a report to council by August 2024. And 2, the review should consider current planning documents and make recommendations on future changes to processes with implementation timelines, including but not limited to the following: capital planning processes and current programs, current management models, and specifically direct managed facilities in sale, facility maintenance support and subsidies, number and purpose of hierarchies, the role of service levels for each hierarchy or facility, and the levels of facility use and opportunities for rationalisation.
Thank you, Councillor. And seconded by Councillor Mackenzie. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Tatterson.
Thank you, Mayor. It's something that I certainly wanted to see happen over the period of my time while on council, to have a broader review of council policies, and particularly policies, some of them relating to the former City of Sale, which still get provided with direct managed facilities. Some of our hierarchies, I believe, need a review. These are my personal opinions. And just how we manage the facility subsidies. So what I'd like to do is have the officers and independent consultant look at our current systems and processes and provide us with some feedback so that we can better direct our future planning activities.
Thank you, Councillor Tatterson. Item 7.1, we have 2 petitions still there. The Yarram swimming pool will address further in the meeting. There is a response. And the Mafking Hill Karela issue we'll deal with at the next council meeting. Item 7.2, receipt of petition Fours Lane, Bundalaguah. I believe you have someone that would like to address council. If you just state your name. Hold on 1 second, Ken.
Sorry,
my CEO is a little bit slow with activating our technology.
So just getting your microphone working, Ken.
Please start again. Thank you.
Right, my name's Ken Bailey. I reside at 284 Falls Lane. Thank the Mayor and Councillors for allowing this to come tonight. For the councillors that don't know where Falls Lane is, it's positioned between the highway and the Sale Maffra Road, just out of Maffra. It's 4.1 kilometres long. From the Maffra end, we've got the first 1.1 kilometres is sealed. There's 2 houses there. The next 1.2 kilometres is gravel. There's 10 houses and a dairy in that next 1.2, and the next 1.8 kilometres is gravel as well, right through to the Princes Highway, which now has boom gates, and there's only one house in that area. We've had consistent discussions with the council in regarding the road conditions. They've always been really good. They come and grade it. Within 2 or 3 weeks, it's back to where it was. The issue that we've had is the dust. Most people had to put filters on all there because we're all on tank water. Filters. Asthma's starting to be an issue. But we've gone from one extreme to the other with floods. We're underwater at one stage with the washouts. But most of those things you can get around. But 2 weeks ago, I was driving behind a girl and it's 100 kilometres an hour, that road, and she was doing about 20. The milk tanker was coming, she hit the brakes and she just vibrated across the road into the tanker. Now, it was only minor, but I just said after that, I said, we're going to do something about this. It's just someone's going to get killed. Since we did it, then 3 days, put the petition in, 3 days later, there's an accident at the Maffra end and all the traffic was diverted up Falls Lane. If anything happens on the Stratford Maffra Road, all the navmans take them on Falls Lane. So, but the main thing is we can all get round things, but we're really concerned. There's a lot of young kids on bikes and things like that now that someone's going to get hurt. So we just was asking for the Shire to have a look at it. Most of the people on the petition, there was only 2 that I couldn't get hold of. We did this in one day. They weren't there, but they were all happy to contribute the $3,600 towards it to get things started. But yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to put it forward.
Thanks, Ken. And we'll come back to you in 2 council meetings with the response.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
No.
Item 8, invited addresses, presentations and acknowledgements. Do we have any? Oh, sorry. Yes, sir, sorry, yes, I'd better have a mover for Ken's petition. Sorry about that. Thank you, councillors. Is there someone that would like to move that? Councillor Rossetti.
I'm happy the council receive the attached petition regarding Falls Lane, Bundalaguah, and a petition be referred to the General Manager of Built Natural Environment for report to a future council meeting.
And seconded by Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Thank you. Item 8, invited addresses, presentations or acknowledgements. Do we have any? Councillor Marr.
I'd like to have a mention. I'd like to mention and acknowledge HESCO and the HESCO Town Group and the recent Australian Street Art Awards for the Water Tower mural in Yarram that is certainly, I guess, considered by many of us to be the crowning glory of the Yarram mural trail, and it's certainly been a long project, and it's involved a lot of hard work by a few volunteers and locals. So it was really pleasing to read that they had received a bronze award in the mega mural category Australia-wide, and a gold medal in the best street art experience in Victoria. So I think that that really represents the hard work and the kudos that they certainly well deserve from us and the Yarram and wider Wellington Shire communities. So well done to them. And I'd also, if I may, Mayor, like to just acknowledge our visitor information team who are constantly promoting events and activities within our region. The leader of that team is Ashley Smurl, who is a coordinator of marketing events and tourism, and we certainly know that Ashley and her team undertake a lot of work, and it's not just Monday to Friday. We do see them out there on Saturdays and Sundays. And just a couple of things that they have been promoting and involved with, and there's quite a number of them, but a few, the Country House Hunters in Hayfield, where Katrina Roundtree, that we all know on TV, hosted and met with Michael of the team, and really he's a bit of a TV star now. Also the Sale Music Festival, Parks Week, that is run across all of our wonderful parks, Sale, Woodside, Port Albert, the few of many, Mafco Market in Maffra, the Locksport Community Market, the Yarram Chalk Art event, which was once again another wonderful program in Yarram, the Grow Festival at Rosedale, and the recent Maffra Mardi Gras, which the Mayor is going to speak about shortly, as well as the upcoming Tara Festival Easter event that is at Yarram. And not to mention the air show that is coming up on our Anzac weekend, the 27th to 28th of April. Ashley has advised us today that the footprint has expanded. There's more craft display, more defence vehicles on site. There's also a Hot Wheels interactive display for the kids, but I'm sure that there's many grown-ups that may be interested in that. And as well as an industry employment hub that is aviation specific. And before we get to that date in April, we also have the Tinamba Food and Wine Festival and the Stratford Shakespeare Festival also happening. So I just want to acknowledge the hard work that that team certainly undertakes, and because at the end of the day, if we can't advertise and share these events, they wouldn't be as successful as they are. And I think that they've been very successful on the back of some hard work. So well done.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you.
said, Councillor Marr. Is there any other acknowledgements? Councillor Ripper.
Well, thank you, Councillor Marr, because that's an excellent segue into what I would like to acknowledge council staff. A little while ago, we, at the preamble, we used to mention about the staff and their families in our preamble. But so I'd like to take the opportunity today to talk about all staff. Outdoor staff, our indoor staff. They work in disasters and floods, working after hours, taking on extra work. And today we had a couple of workshops regarding a couple of the new programs that have been put in place for, first one is customer relations management system on our computers and a port procurement and contract. And these two systems make it easier for tracking for everyone to find out in the staff area of what's happening with various procedures that are happening within the Shire. I'd also like to ask the 4 GMs, please pass on a big thanks, and I'm sure that all councillors would concur with what our staff do. They're working and doing their best for the community. Make no bones about that. They are working to do the best for our community. And CEO, if you could pass on to your staff my sentiments, and I'm sure all councillors would agree. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Ripper. As Councillor Ma alluded in her talk about the Maffra Mardi Gras, I was lucky enough to be there on Saturday night, and what a great event. There was thousands of people there, it was quite exciting, and the community mightn't know, but it's been running since 1958. So it's one of our longest running events in the Shire. They've raised over $3 million with community groups running at the Maffra Mardi Gras. The amount of floats and the smiling children from all the schools, the trucks that were polished, the equipment that was bought out of the different businesses around town, it was fantastic to see. And I want to do a big thank you to the volunteers that actually run that, which is Rotary of Maffra and their small band that help out. It is a big thing to put on and run. And what a great job they did. They got together a lot of great sponsors, such as the Maffra and District Community Bank, which are a major sponsor of the event, along with the Wellington Shire Council. And it was just terrific to see all the community come together. I'd also like to congratulate the two Mardi Gras entrants this year. We had Nicole Wilkinson from Maffra Cricket Club, who was raising money towards their contribution to the refurbishment of their club rooms. She raised $13,906, which was a great effort in 6 weeks. So it's only a 6-week period. And then Cade Renoy for the Maffra Football Netball Club that raised money towards a gymnasium for the football club. He raised $30,240 in that 6-week period. So quite a phenomenal effort by both of the entrants to raise money in the community, but also a great big congratulations to the Maffra community and Wellington Shire residents for actually going along and participating in such a great event. So well done. Item 9, questions on notice, we have none. Item 10, Mayor and Council's Report, February 2024. Someone to move that, please.
I move that the Mayor and Council's Report be noted.
And seconded by Councillor Crosley. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Over that, Councillor Rozzi. Item 11, Delegates Reports. We have none, I believe. Item 12, Chief Executive Officer Report for February 2024. Someone to move that, please.
I move that the Chief Executive Officer's report be received.
And seconded by Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Marr.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Just looking at the list of meetings that our CEO has attended, we can certainly see that he's been very busy. I'd just like to draw everyone's attention to the more recent One Gippsland federal delegation that he attended with Mayor Bai, who was also chair of One Gippsland. At that meeting, they were able to meet with Minister Farrell, Darren Chester MP, Office of Minister McBain, Mr Broadbent, Officer of Minister O'Connor, and advisors to Minister Catherine King. So it sounds like it was a very busy period, as well as attending the One Gippsland member dinner in Canberra as well. So I hope that was lovely, and thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Councillor Marr. It's always good to advocate with our state and federal counterparts and see what we can generate for our Gippsland and Wellington Shire area. We are, of course, in the middle of everywhere. Item 12.1, oh, sorry, we just did that. Item 12.2, Remuneration Committee Minutes. Someone to move that, please. Councillor McKenzie, would you better turn your microphone, please, Councillor McKenzie? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move that Council note and receive the minutes from the Remuneration Committee meeting held on the 5th of March 2024 as attached, and endorse the actions from the Remuneration Committee meeting held on the 5th of March 2024 as detailed in the attached minutes.
And seconded by Councillor Tatterson. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.
Nothing further, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor McKenzie. Item 13.1, Assembly of Councillors Report. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Tatterson.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, CEO.
I move that Council note and receive the attached Assembly of Councillor records for the period of 26 February 2024 to 10th March 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Nothing further? Thank you. Item 13.2, Audit and Risk Committee minutes. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move the Council receive and note the minutes in brief of the Audit and Risk Committee, 26th of February 2024, as attached, and the confidential attachment Audit and Risk Committee minutes of 26th of February 2024. Point 2, Council appoint Chris Badger as Chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, and point 3, as set out in the Council agenda.
And seconded by Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Stevens.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Firstly, I'd just like to congratulate Mr Chris Badger on his reappointment as the independent chair of the Audit and Risk Committee. Next, I'd just like to note that at the meeting there was a very brief consideration of the fact that the internal auditor is currently, or has actually completed their latest report onto IT and cyber matters, and that report is just awaiting some management comments and will be dealt with at the next meeting of the Audit and Risk Committee. And that report is, of course, part of the program. I think we try and achieve three or four independent audits of various facets of council administration and activity each year. I'd also just like to note that the Audit and Risk Committee is in an ongoing fashion reviewing major council policies, and has also started work on reviewing the strategic risk items from the health and safety agenda risk management area. As council will be aware, Mayor, there's been a huge body of work completed on OH&S and risk management in the last 12 months or so, and now, of course, part of the process is for Audit and Risk to review those matters on an ongoing basis. And finally, the other matters that were presented to the Audit and Risk Committee were of a fairly general and regular nature. Reports were all noted, and so, yeah, there was no any other major issues. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Item 14.1, Quarterly Building Report, October to December 2023. Someone to move that.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council note the report of building permits issued from 1st of October 2023 to the 31st of December 2023.
And seconded by Councillor Crossley by whisker from Councillor Rossetti. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Meyer.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Seems so long ago in 2023. Between the 1st of October to the 31st of December, 226 permits were issued at a value of just under $83 million. As compared to last quarter, there were 239 permits issued at a value of $49 million approximately. The major projects include at Longford, the gas plant with the BOC CO2 facility development. In Warwick, there's a multi-dwelling development on behalf of Department of Families, Fairness and Housing. In Yarram, there's a Church Road development at Miradong, which we're all watching and certainly excited by that progress. As with the new ambulance station at Yarram, and there's also a boarding house development on behalf of YDHS. In Sale, there was the Aqua Energy upgrade, Central Gippsland Health Service upgrade of 10 community care buildings at Palmerston Street, and Guthridge Parade primary school upgrades. At the attachment, there's also a number of building permit approvals that is certainly reduced, and it's reflected at both the regional and local levels, which I'm certain that is impacted by the current state of the economy. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Marr. Item 14.2, Monthly Planning Decisions, January 2024.
That's me again, Mayor. Thank you. I move that Council note the attached reports on recent planning permit trends and planning application decisions between the 1st of January and 31st of January 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Marr.
Thank you, Mayor. This report outlines planning permits issued, amended, withdrawn, refusals, extensions of time and notices of decisions made. At the attachment, there's also a trend report that outlines different aspects of planning, but it certainly shows that our planning team is still doing a stellar job. So well done to them.
Thank you, Councillor Maher. They do a great job. Item 15.1, Place Names Committee Minutes. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, Mayor. I move that 1, Council receive and note the minutes of the Place Names Committee meeting held on 13 February 2024, and 2, for the subdivision at 29 Tyson Road, Hayfield, the private road be named Hind Place, subject to the developer agreeing to the following conditions. 1, that the road sign also bears the inscription Private Road and be installed at the developer's expense, and 2, all future maintenance works and associated costs for the private road and sign be borne by the owners' corporation of the development.
And seconded by Councillor Maher. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.
Nothing to add.
Nothing to add. Thank you, Councillor Rossetti. Item 16.1, Council Committees and Committees of Management highlights. Someone to move that, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that Council receive the report highlighting activities and achievements of various council advisory committees and community facilities, committees of management for the period November 2023 to February 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Maher. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Ripper.
Mayor, I'd just like to advise that we have 8 councillor advisor committees and 4 community asset committees. Part of one of the councillor advisory committees is the Aqua Energy Redevelopment Project group, which is probably quite topical at the moment. Councillor By and Taddison represent that committee. The council group attended site visit to West Sale held on the 29th of November 2023. Project reference group meetings held on 24th of January and 28th of February 2024. Brand new gym toilets are complete with a shower and changing area available for use. Contractors are completing the final works on the new gym, entry ramp and entrance, and the ongoing aquatic area demolition is nearing completion with the upper deck change rooms, 25-metre pool shell and final steel structures being removed in the coming weeks. Group has helped inform ongoing and future public communications and media. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ripper. Item 16.2, response to Yarram swimming pool petition. There was no one that wanted to speak to that in the gallery? No? If not, someone to move that, please. Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move that Council support the extension of the current 2023-24 Yarram pool season until the 1st of April 2024, noting that the facility has been designed to only operate between the months of November to March. And the Council commits to reviewing and recalibrating the Yarram pool operating model this coming off-season in preparation for the 2024-25 season, and understanding the unique infrastructure and pool heating capabilities at Yarram Pool, Council will explore opportunities to develop an even more targeted approach to site programming and opening hours for future seasons, and Council staff will reinstate the Yarram Pool User Group Committee to allow local community input throughout this process and better inform future operating models. Thank you, Mayor.
Seconded by, I think, Councillor Stevens, just before Councillor Maher. Is that motion opposed? Not, that motion is carried. Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ross McGuirter, Manager Leisure Services, General Manager Clem Gillings, Community Services, and David Walcombe, CEO, Wellington Shire, for hearing the community and extending the season of the Yarram Warmer Pool until the 1st of April 2024 to allow Council staff to investigate the best solution for the 24-25 swimming season and engaging with the community on what that would look like for the future. This extension is in response to the community of Yarram and surrounds to sign a petition with over 1,600 signatories that was presented to Council on Tuesday, February 27, requesting Council to look at making this facility a facility that the community knows when the pool will be open and under what circumstances. Within the Shire, Council operate a total of 6 outdoor swimming facilities, being Yarram, Rosedale, Stratford, Hayfield, Maffra and Sale. And to manage the nuances of each facility is a science in itself. This review is opportune as on November 11, 2022, the Yarram Warmer Pool project was officially opened and in the first season saw an increase of 30% attendance. And there will be several matters that will derive the future programming and operation of Yarram, such as, but not limited to, 1. Distance. If we use Sale as the base for all council pools, Yarram is 72 kilometres from Sale, with the others between 35 to 17 kilometres. So when you look at Yarram, a round trip is in the vicinity of 140 plus kilometres. Yet for the others, the maximum would be around 70, and even that would be challenged as pool facilities are close within each town's perimeter, e.g. Maffra to Stratford, Rosedale to Sale. Temperature trigger. For all council pools, the current temperature trigger for an outdoor pool to be open is 25 degrees. However, when you look at historical average temperature data on Yarram, considerations should be to lower the trigger, and remembering that as Yarram has a roof, the inside temperature would be warmer. The historical weather data in Yarram is as follows: November 22 degrees, December 22, January 24, February 23, March 22 and April 19. Lifesavers and third-party operators. A significant cost in operating the Yarram pool, as with all the pools, is the cost of lifesavers due to travel and time expenses. Now is the opportunity to reach out to the Yarram Secondary School sports teachers and invest in looking at developing lifesavers, and if necessary, council cover the cost for them to obtain their bronze medallion. The benefit would be twofold: increased lifesavers and an added exercise to the school curriculum. It would also be worth advertising for mature age lifesavers that live within Yarram and surrounds, that are retired but still active. It'd be worth testing this market. Another opportunity is to reach out to the Woodside Lifesaving Club to have their lifesavers trained and added to the pool of lifesavers, as well as looking at the club to operate the pool under committee of management model, if that makes both financial and community sense. Opening hours and days. One of the criticisms on social media was the perceived lack of communicating open days, hours and signage around the facility. Often it was word of mouth, that the community was aware the pool was open, as they didn't identify with Acker Energy. This reduces the potential to secure yearly pass participation and daily patronage. Improvements in signage at the pool, signage at Commercial Road and improved social media blasts on socials that the community look at will have the potential to improve patronage. By improving communication and signage, the community can be better plan their day knowing the pool is open or not. Social media comments. In review, it would be worth deep diving into community social media comments that were expressed so the council can look at addressing with the 2024-25 season and have the facility much more usable. Yarram User Group Committee. This is a great initiative by Ross and his team to reinvigorate this user group, of which many are the fabric of Yarram and surrounds. This can be the conduit between council and the community. The Yarram Warmer Pool became a reality after 25 years of advocacy, and I can recall when I was both the councillor and then president of Rotary Yarram at the unveiling of the new facility, that the ongoing success would be participation, and this is never true today. I'm 100% certain the council will work with Yarram and community members to secure a broader usage of the pool in the 2024-25 season, and look forward to not only the 1,600 community members that signed the petition, but hundreds more in the coming year and beyond. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor McKenzie. CEO, is there any online comments?
There are, Mayor. We have three. The first one, if you just bear with me. The first one, Mayor and Councillors, is from Sophie Patterson from Boysdale Estate on the Maffra-Bryagh Road, Maffra. I will preempt that by saying this was sent 5 days ago, this particular question, and much has transpired in that space. It's in relation to a 1,200 panel solar farm planning application adjacent to their property. The agency or the organisation that's hearing that application is the state government, not council, but Wellington Shire has put a submission into that. Sophie's raised a number of concerns, and councillors were briefed on this morning around the lack of community consultation by the state government with surrounding residents, with Gunai Kurnai Land Corporation and one or two other issues. It's quite a long question, Mayor and Councillor, so I won't read it out. Suffice to say, we're well aware of what's going on. You've been briefed today and a response will go out to Sophie in the next 7 days, and we will provide a copy of that response to you. The next one is a question from, and I will read this one out. This one's from Mr. Dean Hurlston, who's president of an organisation called Council Watch based in Chadstone. And Dean asks 3 questions. Question 1, what amount of waste enforcement costs in the current financial year 23-24 has the council included in its waste levies charged to residents, if any? Question 2, what amount of revenue has council included in the current financial year 23-24 from waste enforcement actions? And question 3, has the revenue been offset in the waste levy or applied to council's general revenue streams? So, Mayor, a fairly straightforward answer for us, all 3 of those questions. We will respond to Mr Hurlston in the next 7 days and provide councillors with a copy of that response. The final one, Mayor, is from Mr Neil Barraclough, and I notice Neil is in the gallery today, so rather than read that out, I'll probably just allow him to raise his own issues, which I'm sure he'd like to do.
So that's the end of the online ones. So now I'll call, Neil looks like he's first. For anyone to come forward to Rocham, just state your name and you have 3 minutes to address council.
Neil Barraclough. I just come in tonight because I've had some email questions to council that hadn't been answered. I got a lovely response from Andrew Pomeroy, but didn't answer my questions. And Mr Mayor, you've advised me that it was a bit of an oversight and I'll get answers, so thank you very much. And I'll just simplify my position. Regards the timber industry, and like I've had an over 50-year association with the forests, and it has been very obvious over that time that the timber industry had to change. Now, it shouldn't have been stopped, and the reason it was stopped was because of the people that opposed change. So that is why I have questions to the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Anyone else that would like to address council?
There's some brochures here, but you guys haven't got them.
So if you could state your name.
Oh, sorry. It's Christine Timmerman. And I've got some pretty brochures for you tonight to look at because I want to show you something really special. And it's called The Secret Lakes of Gilliandale State Forest. It sounds like a little book, doesn't it? But I want to show you something that I'm sure that most of you don't know that's there. And if you don't know it's there and you'd like to see it, you're most likely welcome to contact myself or Graham. And actually, we'll take you there and show you where this is. So that very front picture on the front there is in Gilliandale State Forest, that lake. I actually named them because they don't have names. So I called that one the Secret Lake, and the one next to it is called Whale Lake. And then there's another very important spot called Val's Seasonal Herbaceous Wetlands. So Val's just here at the moment. The numbers above there, I'm not going to talk about wind farms too much, but the wind turbines are just there above them. Now, these lakes are very important, and over the next 12 months, I'll be writing a report to go to the federal government and to the state government to have this area annexed to the Nurramunga Marine and Coastal National Park, because this is really, really significant. If you turn over to the second page, you'll see Secret Lake and Whale Lake. They're Lunette Lakes, so basically there were dunes there once, and then trees and soil came, and there was a hollow, and it created a lake. These are very, very rare. And I can take you into Gilliandale State Forest and show you this one. I haven't doctored these photos at all. I took these photos on Sunday. It's amazing to see it. They're extremely rare. The other one, Val's Seasonal Herbaceous Wetland, is another area that's much easier to get into, Gilliandale State Forest. These are protected under the EPBC. This is actually in a protected area, which I'll be informing the federal government of. There are certain laws, conditions under the Act that this has to meet, and it has actually met that. So I'll be writing about a 3-month report on that. The secret lakes, though, the Whale Lake and Secret Lake, are inside the state forest. They're 650 metres from a 210-metre turbine. So that lake will now suffer if the turbines are built a 40 decibel constant noise. Now, at the moment, this lake is full of birds and all sorts of things, but that lake will become sitting like you're sitting next to the compressor of a fridge. So the birds are not going to stay. We know that. We know that it's going to be, they're not going to breed there. We're actually going to lose that. But the other thing is, this is a special lake because it is fed by surface water, and they're planning on building access roads across the hydrology of this. The feds are aware of this, and this is what Synergy Wind has to report on, but we know they won't. So we're going to do that report for them so that when they put in their report to the federal government, they can see ours and see that there's a comparison, because otherwise they're just not going to do that. Nature Advisory, the company that works for Synergy Wind, completely ignored these two places. The other one here, we will have it listed, okay, and that's a very important area because this is, sometimes it's wet and sometimes it's not. The biggest problem there at the moment, we've got a little bit of weed going in through there, but there's a whole lot of special herbs in there that don't grow anywhere else. And including my favourite swamp, Everlasting, which Graham found a really big patch of on Sunday. And they are protected. There's only they're the ones that there's only 35 areas in Victoria that have got them. So these are called ecological communities. And they basically what they do is they group together a whole lot of stuff and then we write laws to protect them for these reasons. I just want to show you a little bit of history. Why are they there and why does no one know about them? That's probably the question. This was all going to be dug up for coal. And so the government, federal Victorian government, didn't want anyone to know that they were there, so they did no surveys in this area since 1980. So they've basically been sitting there untouched for all that time because it was earmarked as coal, it was a state forest. So basically Telegraph Road that runs through this area, this side is National Park, that side was state. And they just didn't want to know. However, some government people have, if you look at page 3, there's a couple of bits. They are the best preserved working example of the process that has formed the larger drained swamplands in inactive Lunette, which is this basin thing, ridges in the Gilliandale Welshpool area. Basically, they're virtually the only ones left now. And if you go down Barry Beach, where you see all those funny hills, that's what it would have looked like before it was cleared. But they're gone now, And in 1988, the Victorian government said that the Flora Reserve at Gilliandale's Run be included in the Nurramunga Marine and Wildlife Reserve, a reserve category with equivalent or greater nature conservation status. So maybe they forgot to do that, so I think I might need to remind them. If you turn over to the next page, you'll actually see a picture. This is on the edge of the state forest, and it actually shows the amount of water, the volume of water that runs into the Gilliandale State Forest. That's actually on the edge. It's farmland on this side here. It's significant. So when the feds said they wanted the hydrology checked, this is why, because that water runs into these wetlands, and they're absolutely beautiful. And there's a picture of, this is Val's herbal land, so that's just sweet. The next one, though, so this is where we start with page 1 of 5. I'll be very quick about this. EPA changed the laws. We now have these different categories about outdoor amenity, noise, etc. This is where, if the wind farm is built, we will be making very serious complaints, because you don't go to a national park or one of those wetlands to listen to the sound of a refrigerator constantly. We do have a right to, the animals do, but we have a right to enjoy these as well. So there's some really big concerns that this wind farm is being built so close to these 650 metres away from that lake. So where I stood and took that picture, 650 metres is that turbine. I'm going to hear it and I'm going to see it, and it's going to eat all those ducks anyhow. So there's a lot to read through there. Graham's probably got to say a little bit more about that. But I actually did something really interesting. I took your rail trail, I put 3 points along it within the footprint of where the wind farm will be, and I asked the Living Atlas how many listed birdies we've got there. This is how many. So you can see there's 3 different points, and that was the length of the rail trail. And I did a little, radius circle and said, who have we got there that's special? And this is how many we come up with just on our rail trail. I mean, when the rail trail's done and we do get some signage there, it would be amazing to have some of these things up on the rail trail, talking about the special birds and critters and things that we have there. I suppose if you turn over to page 4 and 5, Graham's actually made these and he might talk about them.
So maybe, Christine, if Graham talks about those and...
Yeah. I will finish now. Yep. Right, one more thing, and you may not want to read this, but it was included, and this is why the birds and critters run away. So this is some scientific evidence. So I hope you enjoy your brochure, and if you do want to come see that lake with me, just let me know.
Thank you, Christine. I'll gladly read all that. Thank you. Next, yeah.
Hi, I'm Graham James from Gilliandale, and I'd just like to say that the rail trail, although it hasn't opened, has already got people using it. And I was actually surprised how many are using it already, because the Synergy Wind evaluation of the rail trail is that they don't have to include it in their observations or assessments because nobody's going to use it anyway. So that's their thing on the rail trail. And the second thing that I have put in there, I did note in your submission to the DECA on the wind farm, you mentioned about the airport, how far it was from the wind farm, because I think they said 6.3 nautical miles or 36 kilometres. In fact, it's under 12 kilometres, and there are 2 runways at Wellington, at the Yarram airport. One takes you, the main runway takes you quite clear of the wind farm, but the longer secondary runway, in fact, the flight path of that is directly over the wind farm. Now, whether that's going to have any impact on what you can do with your airport, I don't know, but I think you need to look because, as I say, I have got a map there. It does show the flight path, and the flight path is directly over the wind farm. In fact, you couldn't position it better if you tried. So basically, I'd just like to say thank you for your submission to DECA. I think it was balanced, and that's what your job is, and you've done it well. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Graham. Yeah, whoever wants to come up and address council.
This might help a few. Hi, my name's Paul. How are you?
Surname Paul
Thank
too.
You. Family name, Green Man.
Thank you.
First question, are you, David Morecambe, a public servant? Second question, well, I'd like these put on the website as answers. Second question, is Wellington Shire Council prepared to be sued in their private capacity for any present or future projects against their full commercial liability insurance for harm, loss or damage against any other corporation? Because indeed you are a corporation. So whilst I'm here and I've got some witnesses, I'm just going to come up and give David a 237 page...
Yeah, if you could pass that on to one of the GMs, Chris Hasty.
As long as I can get a guarantee that it will be walked in front of us to David, not later.
There's no need to do that because our GMs do.
No, I'm serving David these papers.
There's no...
So I'm serving these papers.
Happy to receive the papers. Come forward then.
That's 237 pages document of Daniel Andrews' treason charges, because there is treason in this country. And I will get the CEO to say that he will state that he'll give it to all councillors. You can have a look at a website, but there's no need. I've given you the paperwork, and it will prove that no council in this country has any lawful authority whatsoever. You are corporations. You are not part of the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And if you just give your details to Chris, as I said earlier, and we'll get a response out.
I'm sure David's got them, but I will.
Thanks very much. Is there anyone else in the gallery that would like to address council? No? In that case, I'll deem the meeting closed at 5:48. Thank you, everyone.